Remember when Kamen Rider fought and destroyed his friend? Wasn't that so cool? I mean, he chased him down on a cool bike that came from the sky, that was a giant cell phone, that when he touched the screen, a little motorcycle icon, it turned into a bike with a really cool name that reminded me of Battle Hopper. It was Rising Hopper. And then he chased him down, and then he did a big jump and fought him. It was a really cool fight, and then he hit him with the big briefcase sword, and that totally destroyed him. It was super cool, wasn't it? Anyway, this is MJ. I love Tokusatsu, and right now I want to talk about Kamen Rider 01 Episode 2 because it has a little bit of a tone problem, I think. My title for this episode is Comodifying... What is it? Oh, I don't remember. Hold on. Yes, Comodifying Despair. And I said that a little tongue-in-cheek. All dramatic stories with stakes in them are commodifying or making money off of selling despair to the audience because you want to have empathy for and sympathize with the characters in the show, the heroes, so that you can actually connect to the story, and that's totally normal. But it's really funny to me that Mamoru was corrupted into this. I don't even know what this thing was. Was it a mongoose? Was it supposed to be a walrus or some sort of snake? I almost thought, squirrel or gopher or something, but it had these big tusks and this one thing hanging off of its back. So I'm not sure what it was. But anyway, he told them that they're practically family. And we see that, he has all this affection for him. He gives him, this little thing he ties onto his arm because he, wants him, he was injured helping protect people from the bat, I'm assuming. HumaGear, or what do they call it when it turns bad? Is it a different name? I don't know. Anyway, but then he, Izu tells him that once they've become corrupted, the HumaGears, that there's no way to save them and they have to be destroyed. And he has some legitimate pathos over that, and I can see Aruto kind of agonizing over the fact that he has to do it, but he does it. He ultimately fights and destroys Mamoru. But then at the very end of the press conference, there is a HumaGear who is wearing the yellow kerchief on his arm like Mamoru, and I think he kind of looks like Mamoru. It's kind of a weird angle. I couldn't get a great look at him, and then when they went out to a crowd shot, it looked like they were showing him again, but the people were arranged in such a way that they were blocking off any view of his arm to see if the armband was on there, and that in fact it was Mamoru somehow. Either he had come back or was reconstructed, or I don't know what, but it doesn't really make sense to me because if you're having this character despair because of what they had to do to protect people, I get that. I can appreciate the pathos. I'm buying the despair that you're putting out there. But if you're going to nullify it by having him just recreate this guy, that's weird. And I don't know. I hope that's something they're going to address in a future episode because, is Mamoru back? And honestly, I really hope that's something that they're going to build towards in the series, that Aruto will develop or have developed, because I don't think he's a smart guy. He's just a comedian, right? Not that comedians are dumb, but I think you know what I'm saying. Anyway, he's not a scientist. Maybe he'll have somebody work on technology that will allow them to purify and heal the corrupted HumaGear individuals. Although something interesting I noticed about the HumaGear that are targeted is the terrorist guys say that they are approaching singularity, which singularity, if you don't know, is the point at which artificial intelligence is supposed to match human intelligence, and I can see that being a special condition under which, one of these people could become a monster. Actually, kind of fun fact, or, fun idea. It kind of reminds me of how Shocker pursued people who had amazing bodies, who were very athletic and had also really high IQs. Takeshi Hongo, I think, is supposed to have a 5,000 IQ, or 5,500, whatever it is. It's ridiculous. Just like Sailor Mercury, she has a super high IQ too, the same. Anyway, just kind of an interesting side point. Anyway, speaking of the terrorists, these Mitsubishi.net guys, they are pretty bad dudes. They're definitely the villains of the show. The HumaGears aren't. I like the fact that Aruto explains that at the end, and that he has that video clip that he shows, I'm guessing from surveillance cameras or whatever. And that was nice that we already know that these guys are the ones causing the HumaGear to go bad. And I mean, there's kind of an allusion to the fact that they were the ones who did it at Daybreak Town, way back when, which I'll get back to that. Anyway, again, this is like Shocker, sort of like Shocker. We don't know what their goals are ultimately, other than destruction of humans, but it's just interesting to me. Are they more than human? Are they more human than human? I don't know. But that's it'll be interesting to see where that goes, how it develops. But my interest is piqued. Another thing is Aruto says that humans' dreams are bound up in the HumaGear, and the other guy, Usa, I don't know, Wolfman. I'm just gonna call him Wolfman Jack for now because I don't remember his name. Fuwa. He says that they are killing machines, and I'll get into that a little bit more later. But it's interesting to me that it's kind of to get political, like the gun debate. Oh, these things, they only cause destruction. Well, you've got Fuwa and gosh, what's the lady's name? Something with a Sa. Yui Saba. Anyway, you've got her and the A.I.M.S team using guns to protect people. Obviously, the Rider, the whole thing with Kamen Rider, or anyway. Then Aruto is using a belt that has very similar technology. He's confused for a corrupted HumaGear. Even Fuwa and A.I.M.S see him like that, and they attack him because of this. So it's it's how you use the technology or the power, or the stick or the rock or the butter knife, the screwdriver, whatever it is. You can use it for ill or for good, and that's one of the things about Kamen Rider that resonates with me. After Fuwa, aka Kamen Rider Vulcan, destroys the HumaGear that he was fighting, the Bat one that was causing so much mayhem or destruction. Anyway, he shoots through several shipping containers, which they have hollow walls, so I guess it wouldn't have to be that powerful of a shot to do that. But you get to see Aruto, or Kamen Rider 01 on the other side of that, and I think that is a great visual thing, and you see it from both of their sides, but it mostly is on Vulcan's side. And it's interesting because there really is a huge gap between these guys. They both experienced the tragedy in Daybreak Town years ago. Fuwa was not protected. He was in a school while it was under attack, and he had to run from HumaGear, who were corrupted and who were saying something like annihilate all humans, and because of that he sees them as killing machines and he wants to destroy them. That's his purpose, and he even is interested in taking apart hidden technologies or hidden industries, hidden intelligence, because they are the ones who produce the HumaGear, and he wants to destroy that which destroyed his life, or looks like a bunch of people around him murdered, and maybe he was one of a few survivors. But Aruto was saved by his father, who was a HumaGear, I guess, and that's why he sees them as being so good and as protectors of people's dreams. And I think he even said they're protectors of people's smiles, which is kind of a classic thing to say about a Kamen Rider. And it's interesting that their life experiences have caused them to have such different opinions about what exactly the HumaGear are all about. And I'm running out of time, so I need to wrap this up. And I just think it's a great conflict, and it's interesting how they kind of mirror and parallel each other, and I'm interested to see the dynamics play out in the future. So I like the Bat's wings. The design's pretty cool. I like how the base suit, I love these detachable boomerang wings that he gets to throw again and again and again, and how they keep coming back, even though it's silly that they shouldn't, but it's tokusatsu, so it's okay, so it's fun. Anyway, I like these suits remind me of Fai's, the corrupted HumaGear suits, because it's all black with the silver, and then they get a special color accent. The weird one was orange, the one that Aruto ended up destroying was orange, the Bat one was red, and then they have different accessories that kind of define what animal they are supposed to be based off of, and I think it's pretty cool. there was a pretty cool bike fight. I like it. It kind of reminded me of Kamen Rider Wizard. In the second episode, they had a really great bike fight. And I think it's hilarious that Fuwa is so hard and so angry and stuff that he rips open his progress key or whatever, even though he's supposed to get authorization from the lady. That's kind of weird. Anyway, hashtag me too, right, guys? Anyway, sorry. Then he punches a bullet, and that's how he like opens up his transformation. And it's just funny that he's that hardcore that he punches bullets and, you know, destroys things. And it's just kind of a funny try hard characteristic, but it's kind of cool too. Anyway, check out mjmunoz.com for more of my work. I'm currently reviewing Spider-Man comics and writing original fiction you can find there. I'm also participating in Tokutember, making tokusatsu-inspired art for the month of September. I'm an aspiring author who will gladly accept your financial support through coffee. MJ Loves Toku can be found on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and mjmunoz.com/MJLT. Relevant links are in the show notes. If you had a good time, like and share this, subscribe, and ring that bell to keep up with the latest in my quest to watch all Toku. Or all Tokusatsu, whatever. Check out my Ultraman show, Going Ultra, and my other channel, Swinging Through Comics, where I review, you guessed it, comic books. That's all for now. Remember, folks, you don't have to shout henshin to be a hero.